I think there's something very important about creating an archive of common people, where you know that the story has been recorded both orally and with secondary research for posterity. Because for so long, we just didn't record stories. And by we, I just don't mean Indians, I mean Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, we didn't write anything down. Our stories are oral. इसने ये कहा था, उसने वो कहा था, ये तब हुआ था. But we don't have any records. I remember a couple of years ago getting into this weird conversation with this lady from the UK who wrote to me with a photograph of a sari. Have we talked about this ever?
I don't know.
Okay, well, she had this sari that had like a stamp of Bombay 1944. And she wanted me to find out if I knew what company the sari had been bought from. It was like a particular stamp, and I looked for it and I helped her and all. But in that conversation, she shared all of these letters that her grandfather had written, documenting literally him coming to India as a soldier to fight.
Yes, you mentioned this.
And she was like, I'm so surprised that a common person, he kept all these records. I'm sure your grandparents would have as well. And I was like, well, no. Like, there's nothing, there's nothing, because most people weren't even educated enough to keep records, and they didn't think of that. Here, your grandfather was on this incredible journey that he was taking, and he was documenting it for you, but it wasn't really the same for the colonized.
Oh, she was not she was not Desi?
She was British.
Okay.
She was British.
Okay.
So, it just dawned on me that we don't write anything down. We don't record anything, and it's something that's emerged as a rule for that I always think that I need to write for the future. So I need to record things about my past, about my present, that I think will help my future. Because no one wrote things down for me. It's so hard to do. It's so hard to write the history of common people when you have nothing.
Yeah. History, एक ये भी है ना कि there is a lot of written history about India, Pakistan, वगैरह, but none of it is about normal people.
No, it doesn't concern common people. It concerns like the corridors and capitals of the empire.
Yeah.
Something like and I realized this quite directly when we were having that conversation, her and me, because at the time I was writing a history of my grandfather's great-grandfather, I think, who in the late 1800s had been a police officer.
Right.
And specifically, he'd been put on plague duty in like 1897 or something. And, I found the exact thana that he was a part of. But even though I knew his rank, even though I knew where he was from, even though I knew his father's name, his name wasn't in the record. Like, I have his certificates, I have his everything. I have.
Was it like a clerical omission, do you think, or janke?
No, because there were no brown people in that. And so the conversation was like, even though my ancestor was someone, and I have a record of that, he wasn't there in the archive. Like, your grandfather would have so easily been.
Just because of who he was.
I don't know, maybe I wasn't looking hard enough. Maybe he is, but I was very excited to find this document and very disappointed to see that he wasn't in it, even though I had his certificates in my hand.